real quick, before I like delve into the story, I want to chime in here and say thank you all for 50 subscribers. This is a huge milestone for me. I know it doesn't probably seem like much to some of you if you watch other channels and stuff like that, but it's huge to me, and I really, really appreciate you all for subscribing. It's it's crazy. I had said before that like I've said before in posts and stuff, that there was a period of like 4 months, 3 or 4 months there, where we were just bouncing back and forth between 14 and 12 subscribers. Like it would just go up to 14, come down, back up to 14, come down, back up to 14. Like I could just never get over that number of 14. And it was, I just like, I didn't think anything was going to progress. Honestly, at that point, I was like, it just doesn't seem like we're making much headway. But then, like, we got past that, and suddenly things started growing a lot more, which was really, really, really cool. And now, here we are, about, I'd say a year from when I started making videos last time. And here we are with 50 subscribers. So I just wanted to say thank you all so much for that. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope you stay tuned to see what else we've got coming. Back to the video, I suppose. So I get everything all set up and ready to record for this particular video. And then I'm just sitting here for like 10 minutes trying to figure out exactly how to start it. I don't know exactly. Throughout this video, I'll be looking down and stuff. I have iPad here with bullet points and stuff just to make sure that I stay on track for the story, because I have a bad habit of getting off topic pretty frequently. So if you're someone who is mainly interested in just the fun videos and stuff, like you watch the Lorem series, you watch Arc, whatever, or you watch the stream sometimes, and you don't really want to delve into anything too morbid or whatever, this video is probably not for you. I'll be going over things before we get to the morbid stuff, and I will try and warn you before we get into anything like that, so that you can click off as needed. Totally okay if you do not want to hang around and hear any of this. That's, perfectly fine. I get it. I suppose I will start basically just where this period of like 2 months has started for me. And that was on July 6th when I totaled my truck. Now, if you've been watching some of the videos and stuff, I've gone over it there. I've definitely got over it on stream, so you may or may not already know this. But essentially, I totaled my truck coming home from my sister's on July 6th. Dude pulls out in front of me, and I smash into him at like 60 miles an hour, T-boning him, and total it. It's gone. If, by the way, when I'm editing this video, I can find a way to put the pictures and stuff up, I will. But so that happens. I totaled my truck, and as I'm there dealing with all that, the officer's asking me and the guy for our insurance information, and I was under the assumption that he would be giving us, he'd be giving me his insurance information so that I could get the whole insurance claim and stuff started on all that. That didn't happen. So for like the next 2 weeks afterwards, I am just calling and calling and calling, waiting on the police report to go through. You know what? Let me start over. I'm gonna start over on that. So, well, as many of you, well, as some of you may know, totaled my truck earlier this year, and in the process of that happening, like a guy pulls out in front of me as I'm going down a road at like 60 miles an hour, and I just T-bone him, hit his back corner panel, everything's kaput, and it sucks because I bought the truck for 17,000, but I had a loan on it like back 4 years ago. I only had $2,000 left on the truck, and just just like that, she's gone, and that sucked. Now, during the process, like I've been having difficulties with insurance this entire time. Go figure. And that all started with the fact that the officer uh, I had assumed was going to give me the guy's insurance information. He collected it from both of us for his police report, and I assumed he was going to be giving it to me standing out there in the road. He didn't, and at this point, like by the time he had finished the report and everything was getting wrapped up and moved off the road, I'd been standing out in the sun for like 45 minutes, and it was like 90 degrees, like 90, 95 degrees that day. I was hot. It was terrible, and I was concerned about my dog being out in the sun and stuff like that, getting him water, getting him back to like AC. So that happened on July 6th. Then later that week, on a Friday, I wind up getting into a fight with a coworker. And I haven't been in a fight since middle school. Uh, and I am currently 26 at this time, so it's been a minute. And I definitely did not want to fight this guy. I don't like hurting people, like just in general. I don't if I there's a fight that comes up, I try and avoid it at all costs because I don't want to hurt anybody. But this guy really forced my hand, and just it was clear that nothing was going to stop him, and eventually he just fucking came at me. I'm trying to think if I should go into the entire story. Uh, Now it was a stupid fight. It really should not have happened. I told him repeatedly, just go away, walk in the other direction, get in your truck, and leave. Don't even bother with this. But it happened. He just kept running his mouth, and then eventually came at me, and so I had to uh, like do what I could to just stop the fight. I didn't want to throw any punches. I felt like if I threw a punch, it was going to cause like chaos, just give him an excuse to like start being all crazy and like open up to, lawsuits and stuff like that. And I did not want to be involved in any of that. I did not want to hurt him. I just wanted him to go away. So that happened. Then we get back to the ongoing struggle with insurance. Now, like I keep calling back every day to the police department, like, hey, is the police report done? Is all this done? Because I don't have the guy's contact information, and I didn't get his insurance there at the time. I was concerned about everything else going on. I thought the officer was going to give it to me at the time. He didn't, so I had to wait till the police report got filed. Then I could finally get a hold of him. 2 weeks went by after the accident, and I'm not able to get a hold of anybody. I keep calling, nothing's happening, and it's stupid. I noticed the camera glitched there a little bit, so hopefully it still looks all right. So I can't get a hold of anybody for insurance. I keep calling, calling, calling. The officer told me that the police report would be filed Wednesday, right? This happened on a Sunday. The police report should be done and through in the system Wednesday that week. Didn't happen. It took over 2 weeks for this police report to finally get posted or whatever in their database and stuff like that. And by the time it did, his insurance actually winds up contacting me. Now, at this time, I was worried that it was going to be some like really crappy insurance company or whatever, one of like a local business or something, and they just really don't want to pay. Wound up being Progressive, actually. And they reached out, they contacted me first, got the whole process started, and that was actually going pretty well for like all of it until I wound up needing to get paid. Um, Eventually, come to July 25th is when they finally come back with the offer. Now, I had Kelly Blue booked my truck and found that it was like Kelly Blue Book kind of lowballed me. They said it was worth 7 to 10 grand at the time. And I was like, that seems a bit low, but whatever. At this point, I'm expecting insurance to lowball me and go for 6. They actually came back higher than all that, which I was really surprised by. And they told me that from the moment that they give me an offer, that I have 30 days to find a new vehicle, and in that 30 days, if I find a new vehicle, they will cover the sales tax of it. Otherwise, I'm screwed on that, and I got to pay for it, which is like an extra $800 or so dollars, whatever. They come back with the offer, and he tells me it'll be much quicker if you fill the link out and go for direct deposit. You can have the money like this day, or in a couple days, whatever. So he sends me the link. I fill it out. I get all that done, and I'm like, great. He's like, you have 48 hours to fill it out from the date that we sent it to you, and then all is good. I should also mention that at this time they covered a rental. They covered a rental until they were able to come back with an offer. So I had a rental vehicle for 5 days. And they only came back with like literally the smallest, most basic rental package that they can, which is a compact. Now, I am 6'4". I do not fit in a compact. And fortunately, but unfortunately, they didn't even have a compact to offer me. So they gave me like a sedan or something for like $5 over what a compact would be, which had to come out of my own pocket. Whatever. I called them, and I called the insurance, and I was like, hey, are you going to reimburse me for this? He's like, they didn't have one. I was like, no. He's like, all right, we'll have to check with them and see what's up. Still haven't, whatever. So all that is still going on. Anyway, he said I had 48 hours from the day that he issued it to issue the offer to me to fill out the direct deposit. Sent it to me July 25th. I filed it on July 26th, the very next day. I even have a receipt for it that like I filled this out, got it done, all's good. But didn't see any money for over a week. And so I called and I was like, hey, it said 2 to 4 days on the website, after filling this out that I should be seeing the money. He's like, oh yeah, we didn't get it from you that you had filled this out, so we just sent a check out. And I was like, a check? Seriously? Like, I'm not gonna have any time to search for a vehicle because it says that a check takes 12 to 14 days, right? Ridiculous. And so I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It just didn't come through, so we sent a check out. It should be arriving here sometime. I was like, oh my God, fine, whatever. So then I'm dealing with all that. Another week goes by, and I call him back, and I say, dude, the check's still not here. What's going on? Well, it's taking a really long time. He goes, well, the latest you should see it is August 12th and stuff. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll wait till fucking August 12th. That gives me 13 days to buy a vehicle from the time they offered me in order to get covered on sales tax. Fantastic. In the midst of all of that, let's see, I need to try and make sure I get the dates right. So while all that's going on, Sunday, August 3rd, I believe that's the right day, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here at the calendar to try and make sure I got everything lined up. This is where we start getting into the more morbid stuff, by the way. So if you're not comfortable with all that, this is probably your moment to click off the video. We get to August 3rd, and at about 7:30 a.m., give or take like a few minutes, my grandmother on my dad's side has a heart attack and is taken to the hospital where they are trying to put stents and stuff in her arm and, clear the blockage and make sure she's all right. And in the midst of doing so, it causes massive swelling in her right hand. I don't know if this is mirrored right hand. Um, like her whole hand just swells up like hamburger helper and it turns all black and blue. They wind up having to do emergency surgery on it to relieve all the pressure and stuff. Now, mind you, I don't know any of this is going on, right? This is all happening while we're doing, our Sunday stream that day. And I don't find out about any of this until 9 o'clock at night. Now, something to note is that my family is absolutely horrible at communication. Throughout the entire process of this, I don't entirely know what's going on. I just know that she had a heart attack and she's in the hospital. And I'm told this at 9 o'clock at night, and I'm starting to get a hold of my two cousins and be like, hey, do you guys know? Have you heard what's going on? And my one cousin still lives here in state with us, lives over there with them. It would be surprising to me that he doesn't know, Then I call my other cousin, who lives all the way in Colorado. He already knows everything that's going on, and I'm like, when did you find out? How did you find out? He's like, dude, I found out like hours ago. I was like, I was literally just told. I'm like, you live half a country away. I live 25 minutes down the road. And I don't know what's going on. Like, you find out more before I do. So that happens. The very next day, I go to work. And then after work, I go and visit her and see what's going on. And she's all weak. She's like so black and blue, her hand is. Then she's got like bruising and stuff around her mouth. I'm like, this is, looking rough. But from what I can tell, it's a heart attack. And she survived it initially. As far as my knowledge goes, typically you're going to come back from it. In my experience, I've known other people that have had heart attacks. If they didn't die right then and there, they usually pull through. My other grandma had a severe stroke and went into the hospital, and she pulled through and stuff. So in my experience, you're usually, if you don't, die initially, you're good and you will make it out of it. About a week passes. I want to say either Friday or Saturday. That Friday or Saturday coming up. I guess she's still in the hospital. Like, as far as I know, I had heard she might be getting out around Thursday, Friday. I assumed something happened and they just wanted to monitor for a little longer. Then I was called either Friday or Saturday that her kidneys had started failing, and so now she was on dialysis. So now it was going to be much harder, obviously, for her to get out of the hospital. Then comes Monday, I believe. Maybe Sunday, Monday. Her health has deteriorated so bad that she's now on a ventilator. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm talking to my family and I'm like, you guys have not told me exactly what's going on. Why has she been in the ICU this entire time? Usually you're not kept in the ICU for such a long time, like a week like that, without something serious going on. So I'm still just curious as to what's going on, and I can't quite get the information. My family's not good at communicating. One, two, they don't really know all the medical terms and stuff like that. So I go there and I'm talking to the nurse, and then they start throwing huge words and stuff that I've never heard before and all that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what any of these terms are. I've watched all the medical shows. That's not true. But when it comes to heart and vascular and stuff like that, I typically hear things and I know what's going on, but I didn't know at all what they were talking about. Sorry, I keep accidentally shaking the table and I can see my camera shaking a lot. Sorry. So now she's on a vent, and from what I heard, like she was conscious. People were there talking to her and stuff while she's got all the settle down. While she's got all the tubes and stuff out of the mouth. She can't obviously speak, but she's alert, she's responsive, all that. So I go and visit her Monday the 11th after I get off work. And everybody's there. My aunt, my cousin are there, and they tell me that, like, yeah, she's alert and she's responsive. She can hear you, you know, she knows you're there. So I start talking to her and stuff, make sure she can hear me, but like there's no response or anything like that. Like there's a couple eye twitches, but I'm not sure. Wow, that's really squeaky. I need to grease that up. But I'm not seeing any sort of response. Like there's no movement of her hands or anything. There's no like blinking. Her eyes are just open. She's got tons of tubes and stuff, like all consolidated into one in her mouth. She's hooked up to like 13 different like needles or whatever going in her arms and all that crap. And so I was just like, this is looking rather dire here. And it was at that point that like the nurse and stuff was telling me, you know, they've seen people pull through worse and all that. Like things, you know, it's not looking, it doesn't look great, but it all just depends on whether her body can take it. And then comes the 12th, the Tuesday, when I am called at 6:30 in the morning and I am told that she died throughout the night. And I was like, what in the world? Like, from the information that you're hearing here and how suddenly and quick of a turn it is to you, it's the same. I felt the exact same way. Because, like I said, I was just kept in the dark about most things. And not like intentionally or maliciously. It's just, I don't think they just don't know how to tell me what's going on. So I'm told by my dad that she is dead and everybody's at the hospital grieving and all that. So I obviously call off work and I go there immediately to see what's going on and put everything together, you know, help everybody through the grieving process and stuff. It was clear that, you know, everybody else is crying and stuff, a lot like that. And I felt that I needed to be there to be like to be a strong anchor for them to sort of like process this change healthily. So I get there and all the machines are still going. Like including the vent and everything that's like keeping her alive. And now, if you'll recall, I just said that she had died. That's what I was told, is that she had died. So I get there and it's just, there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of silence, and I'm confused. I have questions. Like, I don't understand. I was told she was dead, but all these machines are going. I'm like, did we just forget to turn these machines off? What is going on? And so I'm just sitting there while they're all crying and, you know, messed up from the whole ordeal. My grandpa, my aunt, my cousin, my dad's not really hanging around in the room. He doesn't like seeing, so I'm just in there on my own. And the nurse keeps coming in, messing with all the equipment and stuff like that. I'm like, clearly something is different than what I've been told. So I said as much. I was like, I didn't go, you know, why are the machines still going if she's dead? Because like I can pretty much put two and two together. I'm like, these numbers are still going. I don't understand. So I sit there and I'm saying, and I literally say exactly, I think I've been given like different information. Like I'm not sure I'm entirely clear on what's going on here. And I was like, and so I go, why are the machines still on? They're like, well, That's the only thing that's keeping her alive. And I'm like, alive? I was told the different circumstance. And so I guess at this point, she was basically brain dead, and the only thing that is keeping her alive is the machines. Now, uh, throughout this process, still there, the machines and stuff are all still going. Everybody's real quiet. They want to talk to us about, end of life stuff, like what we're going to do for preparing to shut this all down. Because, like, essentially, she is gone. Now, the entire time that she is gone, um, her eyes are still wide open. I mean, she's just staring into nothingness, but she's not there at all. So her eyes are wide open. The tubes are all still coming out of her mouth. She's just staring at nothing. And I'm just being told that she is dying right there, right in front of me. And while all that's happening, eventually the doctor, like, who's, I guess, been working on it the whole time, who I haven't spoken to this entire time, comes in and tells us that it's what they call, like, what has happened is essentially what they call an abdominal catastrophe. Or Armageddon, I don't know. I think it was abdominal catastrophe, where just after the heart attack happened, all the systems, like all her internal organs and stuff, just failed to communicate properly between each other. And it just resulted in her entire body essentially shutting down. And so, after being told that she was dead, I instead was there at the hospital just watching the whole thing unfold, as watching her die right in front of my eyes. They came in, they talked to us about end of life care and stuff like that, what we're going to do, like how we ramp these machines down. We're basically just helping her have as much comfort as she can have till it's over. And then at one point, the nurse comes in and says, like, we're monitoring this stuff. It looks like the end of life is happening sooner than we expected because her blood pressure is just dropping. And, like, I can just watch the number go down. So, like, I'm just watching as the blood pressure just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. And so we're all just, I mean, literally, I can just watch the countdown as she's dying. And her brother manages to show up like 10 minutes before it's all over. And so that was interesting to have him show up there and then, like, be there just basically for the last couple minutes of life. All that's going on. My dad does not want to be in the room because he can't, like, bear to watch this stuff that's happening. And doctors and stuff are flooding into the room. This room is getting really cramped, and it's all just very strange. And I can tell that, like, other people are finding kind of strange, that I'm not, in a crazy amount of tears and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that was, is eventually, like, it all just ends, and about like 10 minutes later, I guess we all just sort of pack up and leave. We're ready to be gone from the hospital and all this mess. Then we come forward about a little, like, till the weekend. So from Tuesday to the weekend, then my dog starts having major health problems. Now, previously, back in 2023, February of 2023, we had put down my other dog. And at this time, he had been developing a tumor, basically, like, in his armpit, like his front left armpit, and it was extremely, like, cumbersome. I mean, it was literally like you couldn't put your arm down without pressing on it, essentially, if you had a tumor just right here. And we just couldn't get a surgery and stuff for him at the time. it wasn't going to work with both of us working and having to watch him and hound him, make sure that he doesn't scratch at it, get, infected, all that. We couldn't do it till like towards the end of the year, when I'm off work during winter and stuff like that. We were able to go ahead and get the surgery, which was a really good thing because it gave him, another like almost full year of clean health. And at this point in time, he's like a 14-year-old dog, and he's hopping around, jumping and playing everywhere like he was when he was a puppy. Now, the doctor had said when we removed it that there's a high likelihood of it growing back, and that is what has happened over the course of the past year. So the tumor started growing back, and fortunately, the tumor was not exactly in the same spot. It was a little bit lower, so he had much more range of motion with the arm, and it was not as, overbearing and cumbersome. He could be more comfortable what was happening. And the debate was, could we afford to do another surgery at this time? Keep in mind, the first one was about $1,500. And, definitely broke the bank doing that, getting that first surgery the first time around. And the debate was to go and do it again. However, it was clear that age was catching up to him at this time too. Arthritis was taking its toll, especially in his hind legs. And getting surgery again to remove the tumor was most likely not going to give him that much comfort and really improve his quality of life at this point. So essentially, this tumor was going to be with him till the end. And so come to, August 16th or 17th, I can't remember if it was Sunday or Saturday. Like, it all just blurs together. The tumor is like, how do I describe this? He's like a 70-pound dog. He's an Akita mix. If I've got pictures, I will show you. The tumor gets to be about, like, yay big on him underneath. Like, it's big, it's round, it's bulbous, like about this size, literally, up under here. And he's a dog that's about like this long. Like, if you were to pick him up, this is where your arms would be holding him. But he's managed to like start scratching at it and really clawing at it. And it's like he's opening a wound, and it starts bleeding everywhere. Like, we have to clean blood up off the floor, and we're like, oh boy, this is not good. It's starting to look really bad. Mind you, as well, too, just to like break away from this for a second, I am still fighting with insurance to get my money at this point in time. Like, we're on August 16th. I had called insurance again, like on the 13th or the 14th, like a day or two after, my grandma. And I was like, dude, or no, I remember I called him on the 14th. I was like, look, you said the latest it would get here is the 12th. I remember specifically the 14th. I said, but we are on the 14th. It's still not here. He's like, I can cancel. He's like, I can cancel the check, I guess, and send you a link. And I'm like, you can cancel the check? You could have canceled the check the first fucking time I called you, dude, and we could have just done the direct deposit link again. You've been deliberately like wasting my time this entire time so that, you can save a few $100. And so that shit was pissing me off, obviously, as well as all the emotions and stuff surrounding my grandmother and all that crap. And now my dog, who I have had for 14 years. So his health is deteriorating, and his arthritis is obviously really strong, and we're seriously considering that he might need to be put down here with this if we can't find a solution to the tumor problem, most likely we'll have to put him down because otherwise he'll just dig at the tumor, cause himself to bleed all over the place, and all that. So I called off this past Monday, the 18th, and I was like, I'm I'm taking my dog to the vet today, possibly for the last time. Like, if there is an option to, provide him some comfort and make it so that he's, doesn't want to go at the tumor and stuff like that, great, you know, for just a little bit longer. And so we call and they go, we can't get you in today. Will he, make it to Wednesday? That's what they say. And we're like, yeah, he should, we should be all right. And then came Tuesday, which was, I would say, his worst day. Um, he comes upstairs to my room sometimes to lay down. I think he found more comfort in my room with my AC, uh, here, with my AC in my room, just being cooler and laying on the carpeted floor, even though he would never lay on like a doggy bed or anything downstairs. Downstairs is like hardwood tile, or not hardwood tile, but hardwood tile kitchen. He always lays on that though. He won't lay on a dog bed. He would never lay on a blanket, anything like that. And this carpet up here, by the way, is like paper thin. It's really not that comfortable, so it doesn't really make much sense. That's why he prefers laying here. Uh, but anyway, and especially with how hard it is, like how hard it was getting to get up and down the stairs, causing him pain and stuff like that. Anyway, that morning, Tuesday morning, he's like trying to stand up in my room, like right here on my floor, and he is just, squatted low. Like if he's standing here level, his back legs are like this, like just squatting low to the floor, but he's not sitting. He's just hanging that low, like he just can't get the strength in his legs to prop himself back upright. And I'm like, buddy, you are struggling. And then like he would try and take steps and he'd just be wobbling and falling around. And I was like, oh my God. Like if there was ever confirmation to me that it was time and that it was over, it was that. It was Tuesday, his worst day. Then he comes down the stairs, and keep in mind that like up until last week, like the week before last week, literally for me, um, he would like just go full speed down the stairs. He didn't. It was like the tumor, arthritis, nothing affected him. He just ran full speed down the stairs, and he also, one of his favorite things to do is dig holes in the backyard constantly. He just loves doing that stuff. I can never stop him. Let him be. Let him have fun. Whatever. um. But Tuesday morning, when he was coming down the stairs, he had to stop like 4 times coming down the stairs, and it's just the second story of a house. It is not like it is super tall. So for him to have to stop 4 times on the stairs on his way down, and experiencing all the pain that he was just wearing on his face at that point, I was like, I just knew that we were going to have to put him down on Wednesday, the following day. And so Tuesday passes, and we're in the next day, and surprisingly, like, we made sure that he was trying to stay downstairs. Keep in mind, like, I guess I never explained this either. I still live with, like, my mother. We have to rent an apartment and stuff together. Story for a whole other time as to why, like, I am 26 and I still live at home. More, unfortunate circumstances that led to what's going on here at this point in time. Um, I should also mention too that being without a vehicle for the past 2 months has been extremely hard, but not as hard as it would be if my mother was at working currently. She's been off work because she had a bad fall at work earlier this year and like tore her rotator cuff in her shoulder and had to have surgery on that, and she's been recovering this entire year as well. So the only reason that not having a vehicle has been bearable has been because I've been able to use hers. And she sleeps downstairs. She doesn't like sleeping in her bed, doesn't find it that comfortable. She has this big, like, recliner, like, almost therapist chair looking sort of thing that she prefers to sleep on. It's more comfortable for her. And so typically my dog would stay down there, and it makes more sense because it's just generally cooler downstairs. And obviously, given what happened Tuesday, it doesn't seem like he can make it up the stairs, and it wouldn't be a good idea for him. At some point throughout the night, he comes upstairs anyway. And I happen to wake up just before he comes up the stairs, and I could hear his claws tapping on the tiles outside my door. And I was like, okay, I will let him in. I was like, hey buddy, how you doing? Then comes Wednesday morning, and surprisingly he's doing better. He just comes down the stairs normally. He's walking around a little bit more normally throughout the house. I was like, it's crazy how he can go from looking like he's about on death's door to basically being how he was a week ago. So that morning, I take him out for a walk and stuff, but I'm still certain, like 99% certain that this is going to be the final day. And as I'm walking him, like, I get down to the end of my apartment complex, and which is only like 50 feet or so that way. And someone else is coming out of their place down there, and he shouts out, "Oh, he's a beautiful dog. Like, what breed is he and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Because obviously he doesn't know what's going on, and I was like, he's an Akita mix and stuff. We don't know mix with what. I found him just out in the wilderness. He's a rescue. I literally rescued both him and my other dog by just picking them up off the street, strays. And so we never had like a DNA test or anything like that done to find out exactly what he is, but he is clearly mostly Akita. And the guy gets like a confused look on his face. He goes, "I thought Akitas had the curly tail and stuff." And I said, "Well, that I believe is due to the arthritis keeping his tail and stuff down." And he's like, "Oh." And I was like, "Today is actually his last day." Crap, I don't know if I ever warned that we were getting into the morbid stuff. It's been so long ago now. I don't know. And so, you can see him get somber and stuff. And like at telling him that, I mean, I just start getting tears and stuff in my eyes, because he's been my buddy for 14 years. And so I was like, "Hey man, you want to pet him?" He's like, "Yeah, totally." And so I take him over there, pets him, all that stuff. And then I proceed with the walk. We get about a fraction of the way that we usually go on our walks, and he's just stopping. Like, he just doesn't want to walk any further. He's just kind of done. I'm like, "Buddy, like, you all right?" I was like, "Okay, I guess we're gonna turn around then and go back home." And as we were heading back home, I mean, he literally is dragging his back legs. I can hear, you can hear his nails scrape against the asphalt and stuff like that. And so I'm just walking ever so slow. I mean, like, just dreadfully slow to get back home. And more tears are just starting to like well up in my eyes, and I'm just trying to keep from just bursting out into tears out there as I'm walking in. I get back home and eventually, like, he's just doing that more of that half squat standing thing. I'm like, how is it not more comfortable for you to just lay down, buddy? Like, he's making me anxious. He's like, I don't want you to be in pain. I want to do anything I can to take away the pain and stuff that you're feeling right now. And like, I just feel like laying down, buddy, is just gonna be the move for you. You know, just lay down, lay on your side, all that. He just won't do it. At this point, I remembered and recalled that the last time I talked to insurance on the 14th, that the guy said that if the check still hadn't shown up by next week, that he was going to call me either Wednesday or Thursday. And so I made sure to get on the phone and call him before I head to the vet on Wednesday and say, like, look, oh man, there's something I forgot to mention too. I'll get to it. But anyway, I said, look, I am putting my dog down today, and I am going to my grandmother's funeral tomorrow. I do not want you to contact me at all. I expect you to contact me on Friday. I don't want to hear anything you're saying to me at all right now. I am like, because at this point, I mean, I'm so beyond pissed and livid at insurance that it's taken this long. I've had so many vehicles, like, well, not so many, but like vehicles come and go that I just haven't been able to make an offer on. I've been having to ask for rides and stuff when I can't use my mom's vehicle and all that, and it just sucks. I forgot to mention, circling back to that now, on Sunday, I had called my grandpa because I've been periodically checking in and stuff on them, see how they're holding up. And he just immediately handed the phone to my aunt, who told me that she'd be, you know, seeing me in a couple of days. And I said, you're seeing me in a couple of days. I was like, do we have a date picked out for the funeral? And she's like, yeah, your dad didn't tell you. And I was like, he doesn't tell me anything. I found out 9 o'clock the day that she had her heart attack. He'd never, like, he will wait till the last minute to call me and tell me that we have like some big event going on and expect me to rearrange, you know, all of my plans in order to fit it into that day. So I was like, she tells me that it's on Thursday, and I said, just out of curiosity, when exactly did you guys find out this information and figure out when this funeral was happening? And she said, oh, well, I guess it would be about Thursday. And I said, seriously? You guys found out Thursday? 4 days ago. And I am just now finding out when the funeral's happening. Keep in mind, everyone else already knows. The last one to find out. So that's happening. And so I had told them, you know, back to the insurance and my dog, I don't want any contact, not till Friday. I do not want to talk to anybody about any of this crap until Friday. I'm at the vet's office and we're proceeding with euthanization, you know, putting him down peacefully and all that. I am sitting on the veterinary floor with him as it's all happening, and I get a text. Like, the only thing you can do is just laugh at how stupid and horrible this all is, because, like, otherwise you'll just explode. I get a text stating that he can cancel the check and send a link to my email for depositing of the insurance money. And I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. I mean, literally, as my dog is dying right here, he's texting me as I told him I don't want to talk to anybody for 2 days, man. So that all happens, and like come to today, like I get my dog put down. The good thing, I suppose, the good thing is that I was able to bury him next to my other dog, because my grandpa on my mom's side still has the house and stuff where we buried her, and I was able to bury him next to her in the backyard, which was great because I mean they spent 12 years, 12, 13 years together, and it felt right that they should be buried together. Um, sorry, I can I can feel like the tears welling up right now. So that happened, and I go back there and I'm burying him and all that. Um, then we leave. Obviously, the next day is my grandmother's funeral, and I'm just like the throughout this entire process, I'm just looking at how in the world everything can be just so bad. And like I get it, other people have terrible experiences and stuff like that, whatever, but like just this string of bad events that all started when my truck got totaled all the way to here. And at this point, I'm just not even sure that it's done, right? I can't be 100% certain that it's over with because it just seems to be one thing after another for the past 2 months. And they were not just small, one things. Like these are all life altering events and stuff that have taken place in such a short time frame. And it's just lunacy. Um, have my grandmother's funeral and all that, which goes over, fine. If you've ever been to a funeral before, it's not all tears and stuff. Typically, you get some people there who are joking and stuff, trying to bring some levity to a situation that seems to lack it. Moments of tragedy. Come to today, Saturday, or I guess like Friday, finally call insurance and get the whole thing squared away. I now finally have my money for the accident that happened 2 months ago. About 2 months ago, I guess. It's not quite 2 months ago, whatever, but it's close enough. So hopefully this chapter is, all finished and all set, all good. And I can move on to something a little bit brighter. I mean, it almost seems like anything would be brighter than the stuff that I'm going through now. But so, I've always found myself to be a very practical sort of person, and I'm able to sort of separate myself from the situations that are going on and contain that in something else, just a bubble, and move on and do normal life activities, compartmentalize things or whatever. um so that's where we're at now, and by the time this video is uploaded, I'll probably be live streaming on Sunday and stuff, and try and have a proper, like, cheerier attitude and stuff like that, which I can pull off. I don't mean to say that like, whatever. I don't know exactly what I'm saying. This is all sort of just off the cuff. All I've got is a couple of bulletin points, and those ran out a while ago. You know. So, um, but that is in itself is what's been going on with me for the past 2 months, and why video production and stuff has been extremely slow, especially over the past couple weeks. Like these past couple weeks have been the real thick of it, and uh, this is where we are. hopefully things are going better and stuff now. I've got 2 videos at least ready to be edited and stuff for Arc. As far as Lorem goes, I've still not quite caught back up to where we are. If you're a Lorem watcher, or like, and if you don't know, Lorem got to a point where I couldn't physically progress because the game was glitched out and bugged. So I've had to go back and resort to a super old save and progress from there. Try and get anything and everything done and get back on track for that. Progress is going all right on that, but I have not been able to do anything about it for the past week or so, like week and a half, 2 weeks. But I am working on it. I'm getting back to it. Like Arc is going to be the next video after this one, obviously. So in the end, you know, God damn it, I mean, literally just the smallest tap of this table. I mean, I'm literally tapping the table with my thumb right now, and like you can see, it's just shaking, just shaking. You know, like the littlest movements set it off. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hopefully nothing else happens and I don't need to make a video documenting it all again, and we can just move on and proceed with life normally, because life has been anything but normal for the past 2 months, and I'm ready for the next chapter, the next thing. Thank you all for watching this far. If you have, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and check out some of the fun stuff that we are doing here on the channel. I just got more and more coming. You know, we're still, you know, continuing on with everything. We're not stopping. Contrary to how clickbaity the title might be of this video. So, when I say saying goodbye, I'm talking about saying goodbye to all these different elements of my life that I've had for so long now. Not YouTube. So, anyways, if you're done with how morbid, somber this video's been, I don't blame you. I'm ready to move on to the next one. So, thank you all for watching anyway. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.